Welcome back everyone to another video. In this video I'll be discussing Banjo Kazooie and my favorite worlds within this game. I was going to rank them 9 through 1, so it's going to be another top 10 list type of thing, but instead of 10 it's going to be 9 since there's only 9 worlds in the original Banjo Kazooie. I'm going to be talking about all the things that I like about each level and everything. So let's go ahead and get started and kick it off with number 9. So let's go ahead and go. Alright, so at number 9 to start off this list is Clanker's Cavern. For me, this has always been my least favorite because I'm just not a huge fan of water levels in general. They're just very slow paced and everything like that, so I'm not crazy about it, but I do like this level a lot more than I did when I was a kid, so there's that. This level, you know, for the majority of it, you're going to be swimming in water, like I said, but you do get to go inside of Clanker, which is a giant robotic shark that is used to eat Gruntilda's garbage that she disposes of. And that's pretty cool to be able to go inside of Clanker and, you know, explore the inside of this robotic shark. That's neat, but the rest of it I'm not too crazy about. I'm not crazy about swimming under the filthy water and just exploring that. It does have some cool music, so I'll let you listen to that for a second. So really good music in it, and you know, I do like Clanker. As I said, you also learn the gold feather move in this world if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly which world this is, but I'm wanting to say it's world 3. So it's a pretty okay world, not great, not awful, but definitely my least favorite out of all of the worlds within the original Banjo Kazooie, so that's why I have it at number 9. You know, so let's go ahead and just get ready to talk about number 8. Let's go that way now. Alright, so at number 8 we have the Rusty Bucket Bay. Now as a kid playing this game, Rusty Bucket Bay for the longest time was actually my favorite level in the game. I don't know why, but I really did enjoy this level in particular, and I would always go around and just kind of walk around the level. Now that I'm older and I've played the game, you know, a lot, this is not my favorite by any means. I mean, I've knocked it all the way down to number 8. However, it's still a good level and I do enjoy this level for what it is. It is definitely, in my opinion, the most complicated out of all the levels in Banjo Kazooie. First off, you've got like the water, it's toxic, so you can't even swim in the water without suffocating as if though you were underwater. And if you go underwater, then it takes out your breath twice as fast, so the water is extremely dangerous. But then there's like the engine room areas that you have to go into, and there's all these moving parts and stuff, and so if you mess up there, you fall down, it's an instant kill. It's very difficult to find all the notes in this game, because when I played this once and I was 100%ing it, this was the level I hated the most, to 100%, because there's just so much you have to do. Like the Jiggy that's behind the propeller, such a pain to get to that thing, because you got like 40 seconds or 80 seconds or 90 seconds or something like that to get to it, but it takes so long to get to it, and then by the time you get to it you've got like 15 seconds, so you can't mess up in the water. You know, it suffocates you, so that's a whole factor you got to keep an eye on. So that Jiggy alone is such a pain, and then to get all 100 notes is also a big pain. So to 100% this level, no fun. But I do like the boss in this one. It's a pretty interesting boss. It's a big TNT box, and you break it down and it becomes smaller TNT boxes. It's one of the few levels that actually has a boss in it. I think this one and Treasure Trove Clover may have been the only 2 levels that actually had a boss aside from Gruntilda, which is pretty interesting. But definitely like the level still. I like the challenge that it offers, and the music. I mean, here's a sample of it. It's great. So, great music. Probably why I liked that as a kid, because the music is really good. It's a very fast-paced song. It's got, you know, cool little features in it with like the, you know, the ship sounds and everything in the background. So I really like it. And This is one of the levels that doesn't have a transformation, unfortunately, but it's still a good one. It's got a couple puzzles in it, got some cool enemies in it. I know it's got like I'm trying to think of what the enemies are actually. I know it's got like the crew members that are like your basic enemies that you can take out. It's also got like the little life floats that come at you. I think there's a couple of pipes or whatever that like come out of nowhere. You just walk past a pipe and it like bites at you. So it's got a couple of enemies in it, but nothing crazy. It might actually have the least amount of enemies, but that's Rusty Bucket Bay sitting at number 8. Let's go ahead and move on to number 7. Okay, so next on the list is Mumbo's Mountain at number 7. This is the very first world that you will go to in Banjo Kazooie. It's kind of the introduction level, not a very hard level. It's very easy, simplistic, just kind of teaches you a couple things and, you know, gets you in the groove of things. Teaches you how to collect the notes, how many notes are in each world, which is 100 notes, and there's 10 jiggies, you know. It's just the introduction to the worlds of Banjo Kazooie. Not too hard at all. It's very easy. It's pretty much the Balmont battlefield of Banjo Kazooie, but it's still an enjoyable world. And here's a sample of the music. So I like the music, I like the level. You've got, you know, the termite transformation that you'll have. That's pretty cool. Mumbo, you know, he's a cool character, and this is the world that he is introduced in, which makes sense because it's his mountain and everything. So that's pretty neat. There's the, I think, Termite Mountain. That's a pretty cool thing to go into. All the termites want your backpack and whatever. And that's pretty much all there is. I mean, there is the gorilla, and he's a pretty cool enemy that you go up against. Kunga or something like that. He's a cool gorilla where you like, he throws oranges at you and you have to dodge them and then you shoot eggs at him. So he's a pretty cool enemy. There's the invincible bull that you can't get killed, you can only knock it out, and a couple other things here and there, but it's not too exciting of a level because it is the first level and it's just kind of showing you how the worlds work, which is why I put it at number 7, because it's not my least favorite, but it's definitely not exciting enough to be any higher than this. I just enjoy it more than the other two. So I put it at number 7. Let's go ahead and move on to number 6. Okay, so next on the list is number 6, Gobi's Valley. I like this level. It's pretty cool. It's a deserty Egyptian style level. Lots of cool stuff. Gobi is, of course, I believe, the camel that is in this world, I think. And so Gobi is like this camel, and basically with this camel you smack it in the back, you like grand slam on the back, and it like gives this tree water, a couple other things that you do with the camel, but it eventually runs away to like Click Clock Wood and then runs away to another level of some sort. But regardless, Gobi's Valley is a really cool level with several different things in there. You know, you've got different pyramids. One of the pyramids has like this maze that you have to go inside of, and there's like these spikes on the ceiling, and it's like a timed maze that if you don't get out in time, you know, the spikes are going to come down and kill Banjo and Kazooie. You also get the quick shoes in this level. The quick shoes allow Kazooie to move even faster than she already does. So that's a pretty neat little thing. There's cool enemies in this world, such as these mummy hands that come out of the ground. Actual mummies are in this game. There's a Keen Mummy. A Keen Mummy is in that maze temple I was talking about. I can't remember his name though. And then there's other enemies in there, such as, I think there's a couple of like these bee-like creatures, and also the sand can hurt you because there's like, I think sand eels or something, I don't even remember. But there is a couple of cool enemies like that in here. The music is great. Listen to the music. Alright, so that's the music. I really do enjoy it. I enjoy this level. This level does not have mumbo in it. It's one of the couple levels that does not feature mumbo. About half the levels don't have mumbo in it. This is one of them. But even without mumbo, there's still lots of cool stuff about this level that I do enjoy. You know, you got the cool pyramids. There's a snake charmer. Lots of neat little things about this level that I like, and that is why I'm placing it at number 6. So let's go ahead and get ready to move on to number 5. Alright, so at number 5 we have Treasure Trover Clover. I really do like this level a lot. It's very fun. Lots of cool things happen in this level. It's the second world that you will explore in Banjo Kazooie, and it's just got so many cool things about it. First off, let's talk about the music. The music is amazing. Just listen to it for a second. So there you have it. The music is great in this world, just like all the worlds in Banjo Kazooie. That's one of the reasons I love this game so much. But it has a bunch of other cool things about Treasure Trover Clover, such as this is the first level that you get to fly in. And flying is pretty cool in this game. You know, in Super Mario 64 you had the wing cap, but it had a time limit to it that was a lot shorter than Banjo Kazooie's ability to fly. Banjo Kazooie's ability to fly, you know, depending on how many feathers you have, will depend on how long you can fly. When you first start the game, you know, you can't fly as long, but after a while you get like, I think 100 to 200 feathers, and you can fly for a lot longer. So flying in Treasure Trover Clover for the first time is really cool, just to be able to do that, because one of the mechanics that I like about Banjo Kazooie that it had was, depending on the atmosphere, the music would change. So if you went really, really high up, as high as you can go, the music would go away, and all you would hear is the wind blowing and maybe a couple birds or something. And I really like that about the detail in the music alone. And that was just another cool thing that they added to the flying ability was, you know, if you go up high, you know, you won't be able to hear any music or anything like that. It's just complete silence, really. So that was pretty cool. I like the giant crab that you fight. I like the ship that's wrecked, the shark that you can kill with eggs. All sort of just interesting things that you can find here. I mean, you got the treasure chests that are all over the place that you can jump in and find neat little things like mumbo tokens or eggs, feathers, all sort of cool little things. So definitely love Treasure Trover Clover. Even its entrance is cool. You know, it's a giant treasure chest that you just dive inside of. So everything about Treasure Trover Clover is a really cool level, and that's why it's at number 5 for me. So that's number 5, Treasure Trover Clover. Let's go ahead and get ready to move on to number 4. Alright, so at number 4 we have Bubble Gloop Swamp. This is a really cool world that I really do enjoy. It has probably my favorite transformation in Banjo Kazooie with the crocodile transformation. I really like that one because unlike any of the other transformations, the crocodile Banjo can actually attack enemies still by biting. All the other ones, whether it's the pumpkin, the walrus, the termite, or whatever, you can't attack anybody. You just kind of have to go around and do what you have to do in that transformation. But in Bubble Gloop Swamp, the crocodile transformation, you actually get to still attack. And that's because biting is a very important mechanic in one of the levels that you have to go into in that world. And it's against this other crocodile, a red crocodile, Mr. Vile, I believe was its name. And you have to do like this eating contest type of thing where you're like eating these different, you know, things, and whoever eats the most wins, and there's like 3 parts to that. And so that's why he can bite and he can attack. And so I always like that about that transformation. But the world itself is really cool. Here's a little sample of the music. Alright, so really good music, and the world itself is cool. There's a giant turtle that you gotta like hit its feet because they're numb, and then you go inside of its mouth and it's like a school in there. A bunch of really crazy stuff like that happens in this world. I think there's like a giant egg that you smash. There's piranhas in the water, so you can't go in the water unless you're an alligator or a crocodile. So lots of cool stuff, and I like the green in this world. It looks really cool, and just all of the sound effects that you got, everything about this world was really awesome, and that's why I put it at number 4, because I really did enjoy it. I was actually debating on this to be number 3. That's how much I like it, because it's just such a cool world, and I just enjoy it. Got my favorite transformation. It's fun. It's got enough of a challenge to where it's still, you know, challenging but enjoyable. So lots of things to love about Bubble Gloop Swamp. Really do like it, and for that, it is number 4. Let's go ahead and move on to number 3. Okay, so at number 3, we have Click Clock Wood. This level is pretty awesome. It's the last world within Banjo Kazooie before you get ready to take on Gruntilda, and I just really do like this level. It's got 4 different themes, and all 4 themes represent the 4 different seasons: fall, winter, spring, and summer. Really cool level, because there's just so many different things that happen. It's got so much change up to it because of the different seasons. You know, you go into the spring season, and there'll be like worms and flowers will be blossomed, and you know, little things like that. And then winter, everything's dead, it's frozen, there's snow and ice, and you know, the different enemies from the different worlds will be there. So you'll have like snowmen in the snow world. Fall, cool leaves all over the place. Really love that, how there's like the fall, autumn leaves everywhere, and you've got, I think, a couple of other enemies that I can't think of. I know there's birds, I think, in the summer and fall worlds. All sort of cool things happen there. And then summer, it's like really bright yellow, and you can become a bee in the fall, or in the spring. I think it's the spring that you can become the bee. Yeah. In the spring, you get to become a bumblebee. Really cool transformation, because you get to fly around the entire map. The other 3 seasons, you do not get to become a bee, because in the winter, it's too cold, so Mumbo goes on vacation. In the fall, he's got too much to clean up with the leaves and everything, so he's raking. And in the summertime, it's too hot, so he's just sitting there fanning himself off. So the spring is the only time you can actually use the transformation to become a bumblebee. But it's a really cool level, because there's just so many things that interchange, and it's always fresh. It is difficult to find all the notes in it, because it's not split 25 each. I forget exactly how many there is, and which level or which theme season has the most notes, but it's not broken down 25 each, which I wish it was, because that would make it so much easier. But I don't remember which one it is. I think one has like 30 or 40, and another has like 18, or so. I don't really remember. But I do like this world a lot, just because of, you know, the seasons and how it switches things up, and you've got different enemies and different features and everything like that. So it's really cool, and here's a quick sample of the music. And that's the music for Click Clock Wood. Like I said, it's a really cool level, and I also like, not only do the seasons change, but so does a lot of the environments. Like, there's a birdhouse, or not a birdhouse, there's a tree house that's being constructed, and as you go throughout the seasons, you'll see it get built up more and more, and that's pretty cool. And there's also a bird eyrie or something like that you see grow up. It goes from a baby bird to, you know, a full grown eagle. So it's a really cool level. Lots of things happen in it, and that's why I got it up here at number 3, because it's easily one of the best worlds. The only 2 that surpass it are the next ones up. So let's go to number 2 to find out. Alright, so at number 2 we have Freezy Peak. I absolutely love this world. There's so many cool things about it. It's got like a Christmassy world feel to it. So, really cool world. You know, you got the giant snowman in the center of the world. There's a giant Christmas tree where you got to protect these twinkles so that they can get onto the Christmas tree, and you can light up the Christmas tree. There's Mumbo, of course, which I always thought was kind of funny that he's in this world, because if you play Click Clock Wood's Winter World, You go to Mumbo's little hut and he's not there because it's too cold and he took a vacation, yet here he is in Freezy Peak. So I always thought that was kind of funny when I was playing this as a kid, how he would be here but he wouldn't be in the winter world at Click Clock Wood. That being said, the transformation to a walrus is an interesting one because it allows you to go into the water without freezing, and there's another walrus that doesn't like Banjo or Kazooie, says they smell or something like that, and so you have to disguise yourself as a walrus to be able to go hang out with that walrus and get the Jiggy that it possesses. So that's a pretty cool little mechanic, and flying is in this one again. There's another polar bear, I think his name is Bogey or something like that, and basically he wants to sled race with you, and there's two versions of the sled race. There's the first one where you race with him as a walrus, and once you do that race, I think there's a second race with the quick boots with Banjo, but you can't do it until you unlock the fast shoes or whatever. Once you get the fast shoes, you can go back to Freezy Peak, race him again, and get the second Jiggy from him. And I think that is probably the only example of backtracking this game has. Banjo Kazooie doesn't have that much backtracking. That's probably the only example. I know Banjo Tooie is set to have more backtracking, like a lot more backtracking, but that's probably the only example this game had, and that's pretty interesting to consider. So I really enjoy that, and the music in this game is great. Just listen to it. So wonderful music, really like that. Also like, Bogey has like these kids in an igloo, and you have to like get their presents for them. And so there's like 3 or 4 presents scattered throughout Freezy Peak, and you have to find those. There's also these cool enemies that I enjoy, the snowman enemies. They are completely invincible to everything Banjo has except for one attack, and that is his dash attack when flying. That's the only move that will do anything, and it will only do damage if you hit them in the big X mark on their hat. So I thought those guys were pretty cool. I really do like those snowmen. And the giant snowman is pretty cool as well. I mean, like, you go up the giant snowman, you can climb up on its hat. He's got those buttons on him that are targets. All sort of cool things. So Freezy Peak, definitely my number 2. It's firmly up there at number 2. I really do enjoy it. And so let's go ahead and get ready to move on to number 1. So at number 1 we have Mad Monster Mansion. This is easily my favorite level in Banjo Kazooie. It's got that cool, spooky Halloween theme to it. A lot of cool stuff happens in this world. The transformation itself is a very interesting one because you become a pumpkin, which I thought was interesting because unlike all the others where you're a living thing like a termite, a walrus, a crocodile, in this level you become a pumpkin. And the pumpkin's a pretty cool one. It lets you go through, different little small areas that you couldn't fit through, like a toilet and things like that. So I do like the transformation. It's my second favorite actually, so it's definitely a cool transformation. And then there's like a little maze in Mad Monster Mansion. The mansion itself is a pretty cool thing because there's like all these different little areas that you can go into by busting open the windows and doors. The main dining room is the first area that you probably go into. And it's got, the dining room table with the chairs and everything, a fireplace, and then there's like these paintings of all the characters. You've got Gruntilda, you've got Mumbo, even though he looks creepy. Another one is a picture of, I think, the lair, Gruntilda's lair, a couple other things. But the dining room and all that, and then you've got like a bathroom, like I said, that's where you go into the toilet. I think there's a bedroom, several little rooms that you can go in and explore. I also like, in Mad Monster Mansion, I really do like the enemies because you've got the skeleton guys, Limbo, you've got the ghosts that I can't remember their names, and then you've got these little tombstone guys that are probably one of my favorite all-time enemies in Banjo Kazooie. And the reason I like them so much is because they're hidden. First off, they look like a normal tombstone, and then when you walk up to them, they'll come out of the ground and they'll like chase after you. And I like that. It's a pretty cool enemy. I know on the outside of Mad Monster Mansion there's a bigger version of the tombstone enemies found inside Mad Monster Mansion. And I wish the bigger ones were also in Mad Monster Mansion, just because it would have been cool to have them in there. Maybe have a really big one as a boss or something. I do think that Mad Monster Mansion is the smallest world in Banjo Kazooie, but it definitely does the whole quality over quantity thing, because there's just so many cool things about it. Like the clock tower and the church that's got like this ghost hand that I think's name is Moat's Hand or something like that. He plays the organ, he's pretty cool. The graveyard is a very interesting area. You got the pots that say something, who knows, but they say something, it's been debated. And I just like the music. I mean, here's a sample, just listen to the music. So that is really good music, and it's August now, so you know, we're getting closer and closer to the spooky season, so definitely love this world. That is my top 9. That's how I rank the worlds of Banjo Kazooie from 9 to 1. You know, love every one of the worlds, but Mad Monster Mansion comes out on top. And now that I have finished this video, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thanks for watching. Really did enjoy making this one because I got to listen to Banjo Kazooie music and talk Banjo Kazooie. I was just kind of in the mood to talk about this game. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, and I'll see you on the next one. See you then.